Hi. It's your boy Two-Way Ray from Styles Break Fights and Nefarious Media Network. And let's get into what's going on this week in MMA. So allow me to take the time machine back to last weekend where we had UFC 329, McGregor versus Holloway 2. I'm sure y'all know what happened. Max Holloway picked up the TKO victory due to a leg injury suffered by Conor McGregor 69 seconds into round one of the fight. Mike Beltran had to step in to prevent Conor from taking more damage. This is coming after a 5-year layoff for Conor McGregor after he lost his last fight against Dustin Poirier and also had an injury to his left leg. This particular fight, he jumped out with a spinning kick trying to land on his right leg, landed awkwardly, twisted his knee, and perhaps has done some damage that he said later on would require surgery. So this coming as a very, very disappointing end to a great night of fights as we go into the rest of the main card and into the preliminary card bouts. In the co-main event, Paddy Pimblett gets the submission victory by choking out Benoit Saint Denis by way of Darce choke. Very nasty choke. Paddy Pimblett now shoots himself back up to the top of the lightweight rankings. Then we got Mario Bautista getting the decision victory against Corey Sandhagen in a very, very tough fight between the two. Corey Sandhagen battling through an injury that's similar to the one that Conor might have suffered to the knee due to a first round knee bar that was placed in by Mario Bautista, but was not able to get the finish in that round. Corey Sandhagen toughed it out and was able to try to battle back, but Mario Bautista was just too much in that third round with 7 takedowns in that third round to solidify his victory. Then we got Brandon Royval with Lonnie Kavanaugh in the fight of the night. These two just banged it out, going back and forth. Royval gets dropped, then Kavanaugh gets dropped, then Kavanaugh gets mounted and has a flying armbar, or not a flying armbar, but a head and arm choke locked in, but not able to get the tap. Royval eventually gets the tap due to rear naked choke in the third round. Very, very great fight. Kavanaugh proved that he deserves to be up there in that top competition, but just doesn't show that he's yet ready to step into that top 5. Brandon Royval shows that he is championship contender material. Then to start out the main card, we got King Green getting the comeback victory against Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney was all over King Green in those first 4 minutes. He was delivering brutal shots. He cut King Green above the right eye. He was able to take King Green down and was trying to land some finishing blows with some ground and pound in order to finish the fight. Green was able to persevere even as Terrence McKinney took the back of Green. Green defended well, allowed himself not to be choked out, and fought back up to his feet with 20 seconds remaining. Green landed a great teep kick with the tips of his toes digging into the gut of McKinney. McKinney later says that that's what got him when he tried to inhale to get some air and caught that teep kick to the gut, that he was all done from there. Then with some following shots, including a left hand liver shot to the gut, McKinney goes down, and right at the buzzer, the referee steps in to stop the fight. King Green gets the comeback TKO victory over Terrence McKinney. We'll go rapid fire with the prelim card. Leading off with our prelim feature, we have Robert Whittaker making his debut into the light heavyweight division, getting the TKO victory over Nikita Krylov with a beautiful, beautiful right cross that landed directly on the chin of Krylov. Krylov was unable to continue after opening his mouth several times to see if his jaw was dislocated. The fight was stopped. Robert Bobby Knuckles Whittaker makes a tremendous splash into the light heavyweight division. Then we go on to the debut of Olympic champion and NCAA wrestling champion Gable Steveson as he shows off all of his weapons in his reservoir thus far against Elisha Ellison and was able to get the TKO victory in the very first round. Then we go on we have Adrian Yanez able to pick up the knockout victory over former UFC bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt. We got Luke Riley picking up a very controversial TKO victory as the ref steps in against Kai Kamaka III. We got Wong Tung picking up the unanimous decision victory with a great display of stand-up work against Tracy Cortez in the UFC women's flyweight division. We got Damian Pinas getting the knockout victory over Cesar Almeida in the middleweight division. We also got Fareed Basharat getting the unanimous decision victory over John Garza in the bantamweight division. We got Ryan Gondra getting the knockout victory over Zach Reese in the middleweight division. And to start off the night of fights, we got Alessandra Costa getting the submission victory via rear naked choke over Cody Durden. Now, during the week has been very, very quiet on terms of what's going on within the MMA world, but we pick back up with a very busy weekend this Saturday as the UFC and the PFL go head-to-head. We'll start off with the Professional Fighters League as the PFL Interim Middleweight Championship will be on the line as former middleweight champion Johnny Eblen will face off against former light heavyweight champion Impa Kasangane in a rematch years in the making. This match is happening because the current PFL middleweight champion Costello Von Steenis will not be active due to injury. So we are having this interim championship contest. In addition to the main event, we have Lewis McGrillen facing off against Rafael Do Nascimento. We also have Cowlin Loughran facing off against Julio Arce in the featherweight division. And to lead off in this main card, we have Jesus Pinedo taking on Joey Riquette in the featherweight division as well. Those will all be on the main card. Some feature bouts taking place on the prelim cards include Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Ali Walsh, taking on the 4-0 Gamid Kizriev. We also have Andrea Vasquez taking on Alexandra Savacheva, and Mia Grave taking on Ashley Thiner, as well as Jackson Glass going against Zach Flesas, and Victoria Alba going on against Marina Zertsevets. And over on the UFC side, we have our Fight Night card, which includes former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman returning to the middleweight division for a second time as he faces former UFC middleweight champion DDP Dricus du Plessis. Also on that main card, along with the main event, you have a former challenger in that 185-pound division, Jared Cannonier, taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. You also have Chase Hooper taking on Mitch Ramirez in the lightweight division. Former strawweight challenger Tabitha Ritchie will be facing off against Fatima Klein. And to head off the main card will be Tommy Gunn McMillan taking on Alberto Montez. In the prelims, you have Jose Delgado taking on Austin Bashi in the featherweight division. Also on the prelims, you have Seok Hyun Ko facing off against Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani in the welterweight division. You also have Felipe Franco taking on Levi Rodriguez Jr. in the light heavyweight division. You have Aiden Correa taking on Stuart Nicole in the flyweight division. You have Alvin Hines taking on RJ Harris in the heavyweight division. Dion Barbosa goes head-to-head against Ana Melesano in the women's flyweight division. And to start off the night, you have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu phenom, Damian Anderson, who makes his sixth trip inside a MMA cage to take on Ezra Elliott in the featherweight division. So that'll do it for this week in MMA. Thank you so very much for joining me. If you want a prolonged recap of what happened at UFC 329, including what myself and Brother Jay Lacey thinks are in the future for both Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, go ahead and check out that episode, the July 2026 installment, Return of the King, ? Also, if you want to go ahead and be involved in what's happening here at Nefarious Media Network, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you have not done so already. So until next time, I've been Two-Way Ray, you've been you, and we've been locked in into This Week in MMA.